do you mean it sucks?
This pepper beef is too damn spicy.
What are you talking about? This is good.
How's it going, guys? Pepper Too Spicy here. Welcome to another one of those Tekken 7 content thingies that are always around. Anyways, this is a continuation of the teaser trailers analysis that I've been doing, and now that we have the full-length cinematic trailer that was released at San Diego Comic-Con a week ago, I'm going to take a look at it again, and we're going to look at some of the things that they may have hinted at, and overall my general analysis of the trailer. There are only a couple changes to the full-length trailer than the original trailer. When I mean changes, I mean additions. So in reality, this is going to be a lot shorter, in the sense that there are only a couple things here that are really noteworthy, since most of the trailer is still the same as the one that was shown at EVO. So let's take a look at some of the stuff here. We'll take it real quick, and we'll start right now. Okay, yes, he said several decades ago, right? So this is obviously taking place sometime, like the whole scene with, what's her name? Kazumi talking to whoever. This is taking a long time ago. Possibly around the time of Tekken 1. Possibly around that time. Since Tekken 3, which is the major time skip, Tekken 2 and Tekken 3, they take place, I believe, 20 years after the events of Tekken 2. Or maybe like 15 or so. Because Jin is like 16. Got the crazy epic music, whatever. Guy opens the door. Assuming it's Kazuya. If I die, right?
If I can't stop Heihachi, then you must do it for me.
This is interesting because I have a new theory about something, but when he says she might not be referring to Kazuya. Right, so present day. So here we are in the volcano, so this is obviously a scene that's going to take place in Tekken 7. See, this is really important, right? He turns into Devil Kazuya right here. We kind of know that already. He has the devil gene within him. He has the devil within him, whether the devil is an alien or some kind of mythological being. I think it's a supernatural being, I'm not really sure. And it's in him. And then it transforms into a more feminine figure. You can see by the face and the long hair. And if you see the released draw artwork for Kazumi, you would see that she dresses in a very traditional Japanese attire, and this looks like a little bit what she's wearing. And judging by that, it would seem that Kazumi is the originator of the devil gene. It's just Kazumi's side of the family, not the Mishima family. Whatever Kazumi's last name was, her family was the one that held the devil gene the whole time. Which would explain why Heihachi does not have it, but Kazuya does. And see, this exchange of dialogue right here is really important as well, or peculiar rather.
That boy is still too young.
If she says right here, she says, let's back up a bit.
That boy.
A bit creepy that is, by the way.
Kazuya?
She says Kazuya in a question mark, as in, there's only two ways she would be saying that. As in, if she says Kazuya, as in he's not paying attention to what she's saying, or he's like sleeping, or something that's more like a question mark to get his attention. Or, more likely, is that she's talking to someone who mentioned Kazuya. And then she says, that boy is still too young. So she's saying that Kazuya is still too young to fight Heihachi, perhaps? Because there's no way she would be saying this to Kazuya, because it's like, why would you be talking about Kazuya and saying he's too young? He's obviously an adult at this point, as implied by the trailer. And here, they show a picture of him as a boy, so they're obviously referring to him. She could be referring to Jin, but the opening to this trailer did say that this whole dialogue took place decades ago, and that's obviously before Jin was born, since there hasn't been a time skip since Jin was born. Or rather, since Jin was introduced.
Heihachi will soon realize that he was born with my powers.
Right, so she's definitely talking about Kazuya here now that I'm thinking about it. Because Heihachi is going to figure out that Kazuya was born with her powers. And that's because obviously she wouldn't know that Heihachi was born with powers because there's no supernatural, genes in their body. If we're going by the idea that Kazumi's bloodline is the one that's supernatural. So Heihachi, she's basically saying Heihachi will find out that Kazuya was born with the devil gene. Although that's a bit of a retcon, since apparently the devil gene was given to Kazuya when he fell off the cliff. Although it could have been in him the whole time, but it only manifested when he was thrown off the cliff.
Heihachi is more powerful than you realize.
Really now?
Who knows
He is top tier.
what Heihachi will do to Kazuya?
See, he's talking about him as if they're talking, like the two people who are talking, whoever this is, and whoever on the left is, because you can't see my mouse cursor, and Kazumi, they're talking about Kazuya. She wouldn't be saying this dialogue to Kazuya. She's talking to a third party. So that makes it interesting in that there might be a new character that is yet to be introduced, because it would just be a really awkward kind of dialogue if she was talking to Kazuya, because I'm like, what will Heihachi do to Kazuya? I was like, this doesn't make any sense. It's a really awkward piece of writing.
Or to countless others.
Well, except that this scene happened because of Jin. That happened because of Jin. That happened because of Heihachi. That happened because of Heihachi, but whatever.
It is up to me.
So yeah, she's saying it's up to her. So this takes place a long time ago. So this is obviously happened already, and Heihachi's still alive. So it turns out that she failed, probably.
Must stop Heihachi.
He says you must stop Heihachi, but considering that the whole lines of dialogue thus far have been a bit they wouldn't make sense if she was talking to Kazuya, there might be someone else in the picture that she was talking to. Because it would kind of make sense if she was talking to Kazuya saying, hey, if I can't stop I can't stop Heihachi, you must stop him. But her previous lines of dialogue kind of contradict that, and it would be a little weird that she would be talking to Kazuya the way she did. Now, if she was talking to him directly and saying other pieces of dialogue, then it would make sense that she's telling her son that, hey, you must stop your father if I fail, etc., etc. But then she said, he's still too young, so you gotta do it, so because I can't, etc. So she may have not intended for Kazuya to fight Heihachi in the end.
You killed my mother.
A bit loud. You killed my mother! I'm so mad!
Power consumes me.
Also, very important piece of new dialogue, basically saying that the power is obviously too great for mortal hands to hold, and it will eventually consume her and probably Kazuya and whoever holds the devil gene. Also note, this is a Desert Eagle 50 Action Express caliber made in the USA, which is interesting because this is an Israeli gun, although I guess there are manufacturers in the US. Very random bit of gun trivia right there.
And kills me in the process.
See, devil gene right there, and she is looking fine, if I do say so myself.
This ends here.
This ends here! This is a weird English voice acting for me. I like his Japanese voice much better. See, conclusion of the Mishima saga, not the end of the Tekken series. Tekken 7. Wait, actually I want to look at that. I don't know if that little, okay, never mind. It was just the Tekken logo. Trademark.
I love Heihachi.
Yeah.
And he loves
See? The manly teardrop of Heihachi. So I was right in the previous video in that they are going to make Heihachi into a more sympathetic character. Now, Harada, in an interview or at the San Diego Comic-Con panel, I forget which, he said that a big important plot point of this series, of this game, is gonna be answering the question of why Heihachi is such a dick to Kazuya, why he's trying to kill his son and Jin and his whole family. And judging by the teardrop and something, you know, implied by this trailer, it seems that Heihachi, he may have a more justified reason for attempting to stop his whole family, or kill them, rather. It may be that the Devil Gene is a very evil entity, and that it's trying to, like, take over the world, destroy everything. So Heihachi is, you know, trying to destroy the Devil Gene outright in order to save the world, kind of like a well-intentioned extremist anti-villain kind of thing. But as we've seen thus far in the games, they've kind of made Heihachi out to be a complete asshole to, like, pretty much everything and everyone. He's had no sympathetic character traits until now, and it shows you by the teardrop. It's implying that Heihachi did indeed love his wife, and she died. He didn't want to kill her, if that's what happened. It may have been that the power just consumed her and it killed her, but then again, she said she was going to try to stop Heihachi, and thus she died. But I mean, he must have beat her or killed her, or the power consumed her or something. And the teardrop is, you know, it's a symbol, it's a, see if it calls it, it's evidence there, yes, what we're looking for. It's evidence of the fact that Heihachi sees Kazumi within Kazuya, because, you know, Devil Gene, and he reminds him of his mother, and it makes him sad because he loved his wife and he didn't want her to die, but it was obviously something that he could not avoid, and, you know, he's obviously deeply saddened by the fact that his wife is dead, possibly by his own hands. So this might make it out that Kazuya is kind of this little roaring rampage of revenge and consumed by hatred, while Heihachi has a more sympathetic, maybe more justified reason for doing the things he does. We'll just have to see what happens. But the thing is, it's like, in the beginning, Kazumi said you have to stop Heihachi, whoever she's talking to, because he will realize that Kazuya was born by powers, so that implies that Heihachi could have, like, you know, it's implied that his plan is to take the Devil Gene for himself by abusing Kazuya, or trying to take the power from him, or something like that. So that might imply that he's evil from the beginning, considering that in Tekken 5, according to the prologue, Heihachi trapped his father, Jinpachi, underneath the mountain or something to gain control of the Mishima Zaibatsu. So that's really interesting. I think there, that whether is he really a good guy from the beginning, or is he a bad guy but with more sympathetic, more justifiable reasons for doing the seemingly evil things that he does. I mean, who knows, maybe Kazumi is really the bad guy of the whole series. Maybe she's just manipulating whoever she's talking to, and or Kazuya. You know, it's possible. It's all very possible. And then I believe that's the end of the trailer.
Me.
Yes, crying. It's Manly Tears of Heihachi. Unreal Engine, yes. Can't wait to see that. And this is 20th anniversary of Tekken. Pride, Fault, Will, Destiny. And we'll just have to see what happens in Tekken 7. That's pretty much my analysis. It's like I said, it's only a little bit longer than the full-length trailer that we got. I mean, the trailer we got at EVO 2014. So we'll just have to see what happens next. Next up, I'm going to be analyzing an interview from Harada that he did to, let me see, well, who did he give it to? He gave it to Famitsu, I believe. He did an interview with Famitsu, yeah, with Famitsu.com, a video game journalist website, and he gave more details about the path they're taking for Tekken 7. And anyways, that was my analysis of the Tekken 7 trailer, and we'll see you guys in a bit. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later.